Alright, hope everybody's doing good and whatnot. So, just to address something quick before I actually get into what I'm going to talk about, if you notice that I change chairs a lot in my videos, if you've seen any of the other ones, which I don't know why you would, but anyway, if you have, you notice I change my chairs a lot. That is because I am what you call a fat ass, and a lot of my chairs break. So did this one that I'm currently sitting in. It may not look like it. It is broke. It's barely hanging on. Could fall apart during this video. Who knows? But anyway, so my birthday was a week ago from Sunday, and I did get a lovely fat person approved chair. The only problem is, sits really low. I was going to use it for this video, but you can barely see me, so it is what it is. So anyway, completely off topic, but so let's get into what we're going to talk about. There's not a whole lot to talk about as far as the sports world because of the virus and whatnot. So there's one question that's going around with a lot of people, and that's, are we going to have a college football season? Now, clearly, Ohio State fan, for this purpose. So it's a tough question to answer because number one, there's a lot that goes into it. College football is different from the NFL. I personally believe the NFL will have a season because the NFL is a business, okay? College football is technically school activities. Sounds stupid because it is stupid, but by technical terms, that's what it is. It's just like a local high school soccer team. It's counted as an after-school activity. As dumb as that sounds, that's just how people treat it. Now, college football essentially is a business of itself, even though the money's not going to the players. It's just going to the school itself, coaches, and the facilities. So college football is very different because in order to have college sports, you have to have college kids on campus. Now, would they do a at-home courses, I guess you could say, for classes, and count that as kids on campus, and then find a way to have teams come in, practice and whatnot, still play games. You can work out the logistics of it and how you would do it, but could they do that? Maybe. If I'm not mistaken, I seen from Twitter yesterday, I don't know how true this is because I don't believe a word I see on Twitter most of the time, but I did see, if this is true, don't take it from me, go look it up yourself, that Georgia's vice president, I believe, said they will not be participating in a college football playoff if they were to make it. This, to me, is a little insane because if you had a way that you could go about executing this season, right? And then you get to the end, and you've already said that you're done, you're not going to participate. What happens if you're the best team in college football? Georgia has had top recruiting classes for the last how many years, and they've always been knocking on the door. I personally believe they were held back by Jake Fromm. I know some Georgia fans won't agree with that, but that's my own opinion. Now they get this transfer who is somewhat similar to what they had with Fields. Now he's obviously here with the Buckeyes. So this offense for UGA could look a lot different, okay? So what happens if everything's just rolling great and then they said, we're not going to participate? Did you blow a championship because of safety? And the question is, how big is the safety concerns? This isn't a political channel. This isn't a medical channel. But the reality is, and this isn't some theory, this is not a speculation. The death rate for young people is very low, if at all. And we know the death numbers in general have been a little tweaked because of people who may not die from the coronavirus are listed as died because of the virus. Because these hospitals are getting paid every time they put that down. So, and we're not going to get into that, but the numbers are not completely accurate. I'm not saying it's fake or anything like that, but it's not 100% accurate. So, how big of a safety concern is it? Now, the one thing with all these leagues, what are you going to do about travel? Because it's different in state X versus state Y, from East Coast, West Coast, everywhere in between. What if you catch it someplace and you drag it to the next city? These are the questions you have to answer. The one thing that I can see college football doing and the NCAA doing is setting locations, specific locations, whereas instead of traveling multiple different places, go to a specific location. So, for instance, Ohio State is supposed to play Oregon week 2. Either the mayor or the governor has basically said, yeah, it's not happening. So I've heard rumblings about a potential neutral site game in Jerry World. Now, Texas has opened up a lot quicker than everybody else. If the numbers are going down there and everything seems to be leveling out, maybe you could hold some games there as neutral site games. Who knows? We really don't know how this is all going to play out. Like I said, I believe there will be an NFL season due to the business aspect. College football, I don't know. I really don't know. I want to say we will. I want to say there's going to be a college football season, but there's so many little details that goes into that question that it is so freaking hard to tell and determine if it's even a possibility, let alone happening, because there's more than just the games themselves. We already talked about travel. What about hotels? What about team facilities? How, locker rooms? How are we going to keep things in check to where we know we're not going to kickstart this spread again? So it's such a hard thing to answer, and I know it's we all want it. We all want the college football season to continue because there's so much on the line. You look at guys like Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields. They have work on the table, but for guys like Justin, you've had 1 year. How many teams are going to look at that 1 year and go, you know what, maybe we shouldn't take a look, or maybe we should pass and take the safer pick. Now, Joe Burrow, taking number 1 overall, was what a lot of people considered to be a 1-year wonder, even though he played 2. But there's a lot that goes into it. You look at recruiting, you look at the draft. It's such a complicated issue, and I wish it was as simple as snap, everything's good. But the problem is you have certain governors and certain mayors and certain leaders of states who either are refusing to open up anything and are arresting you if you take a step outside of your house. Then there's some who's like, you know what? You're cool. You're good. As long as you're not stupid about it. So the state-to-state problem, the conference-to-conference problem, you got to look at your non-conference games. It's very complicated. If it happens, I believe the schedule will be changed. If I had to make a prediction right now, I don't think the college football season as currently scheduled will go as currently scheduled. If anything, I could see just conference games. For instance, like Ohio State, you'd be playing Michigan, Michigan State, Indiana, schools like that. I can't remember who's all on the schedule. Wisconsin, Penn State. I don't know if those. I know we play most of those schools I named, but the common thing with them, they're all somewhat in the same area. It's not as much travel. If you did this with, I'd say the California schools, but, I don't mean to get political, but I think what they're doing in California is absolutely stupid. Just from the standpoint of being a little excessive. And, it's hard because I don't want to get into what I want to get into because I know YouTube gets a little upset and wants to take down your videos and take away your First Amendment rights when you start going against the narrative that they want. But look at the big picture. Yes, the virus is bad. It's not as bad as they thought originally. Okay? That's the truth, and I believe there's other motives why they want to extend this as long as they do. So, as far as long term, how long are they trying to drag this out? Not talking politically, just talking for college football. How long are they going to drag this out? Because what you're seeing with places like Georgia, starting to open up more and more and more. Texas open up more and more and more. Also, you got to look at the heat factor. Most cases, heat kills viruses. So, what is this going to look like down the line? Because there's certain sports where it's easier to do, and, college sports in general. It's not even just college football. It's just college sports in general. It's going to be so complicated because it's not Ohio State football. It's baseball, football, track, all the summer sports. It's like, can we do it? Can we do it safely? And step one is getting kids back on campus. As far as solving this, are we going to have a season issue? And that's all case by case. It's not going to be like, okay, one school wants to open, so everybody does. It's going to be so the answer on will we have a college football season this year? I don't know. My prediction, if we do, which I hope we do, it's going to be vastly different than the current schedule, or it's just going to be all in the conference games. So I think there's a way to do it and do it safely. Problem is, it's not like the NFL. It's not as much as a business as far as like the players and executives and all that. NFL, it's a whole different ballgame. So I do believe there'll be an NFL season one way or another. College football, I hope there will be. If there is, I think it'll be changed drastically. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Shout out to all the Bengals fans in my last video who was crying. I had to turn the comment section off and honestly, I was being nice. I was being nice to a lot of these people. What I wanted to do was say, okay, generally what I said in that video was, hey, you guys drafted Joe Burrow number 1. You still need a lot of help on the line. You still need a lot of help on defense. You have an unproven coach. Your organization isn't that great. Don't go all in on this year. Don't put all your hope on this year or you'll be disappointed. And oh my gosh, the haters, people crying. How dare you share your opinion? Have you ever heard of ESPN, FS1? This is what we do. It's not just me. I'm not the only one saying that. So people need to learn about what they're going to talk about in most cases. I mean, you're allowed to talk. It's your right. But don't make a fool of yourself. So, anyway, see you in the next video. Bye.